It's Tuesday night, it's 7 p.m. and it's going quicker and quicker every week. It's only just gone dark, which tells me next week, of course, the clocks go forward. Clocks go forward generally, I think, in our industry. Does it slow our industry down? Not too sure. If there's anyone there, let me know. Of course, over the years, it used to. Clocks go forward because when the clocks go back, of course, more accidents happen. Can anyone cope with any more work? It's still, and if you're the same as us, we're absolutely heaving with work. It's outrageous. So busy. But along with that, again, comes the problems. This week, you can probably tell I've had quite a stressful week. We've had everything go wrong that can go wrong, and that's business. But even more so in this industry, our compressors have gone down, and everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for me. But still, we battle on, and we fight on, and we get there. What we decided last week was, over the years, of course, we use certain suppliers. You get used to certain suppliers. What we've done at the moment is, you can't hear it. Why can't you hear it? We've made it that we've made sure. Is this on? I'm just trying to make sure. You should be able to hear it. We've gone through all of our suppliers to make sure that we have got the best deal. And I was quite surprised this week. Well done to the lads, because they've done a really good job, and we happen to have saved a lot of money. And that's made us start to look at all our suppliers. We've been here a long time, but you just get used to dealing with them. And I think it's something everybody should do. Look at your suppliers quite often. I know there's something where we check individual invoices, make sure we're getting the right discounts and stuff, but you should definitely check your suppliers regularly against someone else who can supply you similar stuff. We happen to have saved quite a bit of money this week, which has been fantastic. We don't see it yet, but it's all for the future. Something we need to keep looking at. Parts. Is it becoming a bigger issue? I thought it was something a few people sort of said with the cars and the whole, the microchips and all those problems that have been going on. People have been sort of thinking it's going to get better. Car parts, to repair them. I know we've all had a lot of problems, and we've been really struggling to get the parts to fix the cars. So I actually think at the moment for us in Birmingham, I don't know where everybody else, it seems to be really bad for us at the moment. We've got bumpers on back order. We've got lots of different parts. So if we normally have 50 cars on the go, sort of in that cycle that we repair, we've now got over 100. And that's because there's so many parts out on jobs. I've had to say to the suppliers, do not supply me any parts unless the order's complete. I don't want the parts unless it's a full order. Why? Because again, we end up filling the place out with parts and incomplete orders. Just no point. So we've gone through quite a few today, and I think Ford alone were telling us they've got loads of parts waiting for us, but they're not complete orders. Is everyone else having the same problem? Please let me know, okay? Because this is something I probably want to bring up on another at another time, just to have a chat about it, because it is a big issue. We're finding it quite a big issue at this moment. So let me know if you're having the same problems, because I'd like to think maybe we need to look at this. And if it is the case, what does that lead to? It leads to us with courtesy car problems and finishing jobs, and then it's going to lead ultimately to money problems. So unless some people may even be having that now, I know we're watching the bank balances come down because we're just buying parts all the time. Is it time for the insurers to stand in and help with courtesy cars? Because at the end of the day, the reason we have courtesy cars is so it gets a job in, we get it repaired, and we spin it round. So at the moment, we're struggling for courtesy cars. Alan, how are we doing, buddy? Hope you don't mind. Yes, definitely the same problem in Scotland. So yeah, it's not just here in Birmingham. The big problem with that is we need to use our courtesy cars to get work. First thing when you speak to a customer is, I want a courtesy car. We're struggling. We are struggling because the cars that we normally have are being left out longer. We've got parts that are saying it's back ordered. We don't even know when the parts coming in yet. I think it's something that we probably need to discuss as an industry, because I think insurers need to step in now-ish, because we can't fund everything. We know we moan on that we're quite a low profit you know, low profit industry. Matthew, how you doing? Sorry. Anyway, hey, thanks for joining, Alan. Matthew's got the same problem in Anglia. See, straight away, thanks for joining in, guys. This is telling us this. It isn't just me. I was starting to think, you know, is it? This is a big problem, or can't it? This could turn out into a really big problem. And I think we need to sort of be in touch and sort of talking, because if this continues, what's going to happen down the line? It could be an ugly picture. So insurers, if there's any insurers out there, you've already heard it tonight. There's 3 repairers straight away telling you that the problem's real. So how are we going to fix it? We're struggling to get cars in. I don't know if you are like us, guys. We are now discussing weekly about all the cars we're having problems with and booking cars in, because we're trying to find the cars that we can get repaired to get in. And that's the first time I've had this kind of problem in 33 years. Alan has just said courtesy cars should now only be supplied when all the parts. Alan, you know what? That's absolutely awesome. Very well said, of course, because I agree. Why should we, the repairers, fund the courtesy cars, put people in cars and leave them in them? We can't afford to. And I agree with that 100%. We need to just book them in. But, you know, customers are going to start screaming a little bit. It's probably going to be one of those. We're going to have to just let them scream, because otherwise it's going to hit us financially and pretty hard. So insurers really do need to help us there. A national database would help searching for hours and fit green parts till back order comes in. You know what? Green parts that's what tonight's show is actually going to be all about. So green parts was the issue. So we are going to touch on that heavily in a short while, of course. But it is, you know, the parts supply at the moment, I think, is getting worse. And I can't see it getting better, because when I'm talking to dealerships, and I hope you guys are too, because I think we need to share this knowledge for each other, because going forward, we need to have a plan. So I'm probably going to cover this next week, I think. And I might do a few polls on it, because it is getting serious. It is for us, and it is for you, of course. Thanks for that, guys. Obviously, this week as well, we were looking for a repairer in the Exmouth area. We have got 1 or 2, of course, but we want more, because any work that we give out, of course, non-fault work, will always go to our own repairers of the group. So please, anyone who hasn't joined the group yet or is looking for work, please join us. It's the best work in the industry with the lowest rates, of course. So please get in touch with me if you're looking to become one of our repairers. We'll always go out to the people first. Luke Jones, how we doing? I hope you don't mind me joining in the convo, but as this was on green parts, do you know certain motor trade policies exclude the use of green parts as standard unless your broker informs them of the use of them? Wow. Do you know certain motor trade policies exclude the use? Well, this is something, Luke, really, that's ace again. Thanks for joining in with that, because that is another, the green parts issue is going to be a great topic, which we're going to tick off very, very shortly. So thanks for that, Luke. And yes, we really want your input, especially coming from anyone with insurance knowledge. We want to hear from you on this interesting topic. Anthony Hurd was in Birmingham this week. Thanks, Anthony. He didn't even bother saying hello, you miserable git. Anyway, Anthony's obviously doing a similar thing, joining body shops together to try and make the industry better. And Anthony posted something this week that said over 300 body shops, their estimates are terrible. So there is something I spoke about again for years, to be fair, about doing. That's what all the matrix is about. The matrix is for us all to fill it in and help each other make sure we're not missing anything. But I always wanted to do an estimating masterclass. So maybe that's something I may do for Crash Clinic, where we look at an estimating masterclass that may be able to help us all. We don't have all the answers. We all, we're all good at different things. So could be an interesting thing, because I think, again, estimating properly, we say maximizing estimates, but I mean estimating properly is another important topic. So that's something that we may touch on soon enough. And that leads me quickly on to the 5th of April. We have the man, the myth, the legend. We have Martin Rowley and GT Motive coming on. He's going to give us a demo of GT Motive. Something else that we're all very interested in. GT Motive is the new estimating system, of course, a lot cheaper than Auditex. And I'm very interested in it, like I'm pretty sure a lot of you are. And this is going to give us an insight to Auditex. I always sort of say, with a new estimating system, I suppose they're always going to have that problem. They want to please the insurers, but they also need to, help us guys, of course, because we're the guys doing the estimates. So it's going to be interesting to hear from Martin on the 5th. I think that's 2 weeks away, or is it next Tuesday? Could even be. So that's going to be an interesting one. And along on the same show, we're going to have Leighton Davis of JDK Technologies, and he's going to be demonstrating their new products, which is Snap It and Offer It. So these are 2 new products with the phone. I don't know enough about them at the moment to be able to talk too much about that. So an estimating masterclass would be of a great benefit to the industry. Fabulous. It's something I've thought about for years and just never got around to it. So again, anyone who would help joining Crash Clinic, it's $39.99 a month. I can give you guys so much more, benefit from you guys helping me, because I need a pair of hands to help me do this, because I'm a very, very busy guy anyhow. But thanks for that, Alan, of course. So yeah, next on the 5th of April, is it next week? I think it might be, actually. It's next week or the week after. So that's going to be a great one. There's some great products on there to showcase to everybody. So I'm looking forward to that, of course, as well. Right. The estimating, of course, also now leads me on to green parts. This has been a topic. It's an interesting topic because I did some polls last week, which I thought, I'll tell you how it went. I put the poll out to say, would you allow green parts on your vehicles? And I'm going to ignore the green parts for now. It's used parts, dressed up very cleverly by insurers, but we'll get to the contradiction in a minute. I believe there's a contradiction. You can help me with this as well, of course. So I put out a poll, first of all, before we talk about the issues of it, I put out a poll to say, would you allow green parts on your vehicle? Now, it's interesting because I kind of realized I was getting the wrong information back, because the poll was quite high towards, yes, I'm quite happy to have green parts put on my car. What I realized then was, well, hold on a minute. I'm a guy as well, a normal man. If I had my car repaired and I'm paying for it, then I'm happy to use green parts. Why? I'm happy because it's my vehicle and I've caused the damage. So it's at the end of the day, it's going to benefit me now by putting the green parts on it. So I then thought, but if I'm claiming on my insurance, which I pay good money for, and I have an accident, the reason I have insurance is to protect me for having a car repaired. So I want new parts put on it. I pay a premium and I want new parts put on my car. But the actual poll that I put out didn't come back to show that. So I was quite shocked, and I sort of sat there scratching my head thinking, nah, you know what's wrong here? We're all in the industry. I'm asking people that are in the accident repair industry. So I thought the poll was actually not right, because we're in the industry. So the question, I'm probably asking it to the wrong people. So what I quickly did was I jumped over onto Facebook, on my own private Facebook, and I just said, look, guys and girls, I've got quite a few friends on there. I said, can you help me out? I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. And the questions were, the first one, if you're claiming on your insurance and they want to put second-hand parts on your car, would you be happy with that? And I have to be honest, it went 99.9%, and there were a lot of answers, far more than I actually got on LinkedIn. Loads of people helped out and joined in, and pretty much everyone said, no way, I want new parts on my car. So I was like, wow, okay, that's what I actually thought the answer would be, because you're paying an insurance premium. I then put out, after that, the following day, I put on the poll again, but stating, right, thanks for helping me out with that. But now, if you've had an accident and you're going to pay for it, are you happy to use non-genuine parts? And I said, this isn't a trick, because for me, I would be happy because I'm getting the benefit now. It's for me. Unfortunately, I've damaged the car myself. I'm the one who's got to take that risk. So if my car gets devalued because of that, it was my fault, but I'm happy to save myself some money. Again, everybody came back. So what I'm trying to get at here, guys, is I asked the question to the industry, and it was kind of not too far off equal. But when I went back to the public, the consumer, it was pretty strict on no way would I have secondhand parts. But then when I asked the question if you were paying, again, yes, they said they were happy to have green parts. So it seems it's all about the benefit to, which I agree with, because I've just said the same myself. If my insurer's repairing my car, I want it repaired with new parts. And the other thing is there, Deepak, yes, depending on age, if I've got a brand new Range Rover that's come out, a 5-year Range Rover, I want new parts on it. If I've got, you know, a little old Ford Escort, is Escort still about? Ford, you know, a little Clio or something like that, an older car, and I'm not too bothered about, you know, the parts being used on that. So probably the value of the vehicle might be an issue there. But this led me on to, so basically what I'm saying is that everybody seemed to be of the same. I don't know about you guys. Again, I know we're in the industry, so it's a slightly different thing. Am I happy to use green parts to get a repair, to not write the car off? Yes, of course I am, because that's a business decision. But what I was trying to get out there, if this is a decision for a consumer, now try and look at it as you as a consumer. Would you be happy to have new parts or used parts on there? And it pretty much unanimously, the decision was no. So this also then led me to believe, okay, like we've just said there from Luke, maybe in the policy, maybe, you know, these things need to look at what are insurers putting in the policies about this? Who's telling the customer we're using second-hand parts, or aren't we? Are we just, because it's somewhere in the small print, are we able to put them on? I don't know. Luke obviously said there that, yeah, I love you joining in, Luke, of course. But on the green parts, certain motor trade policies exclude the use of green parts as standard. So that's a really interesting issue, because that's something that I brought up last week and said, this is all about the insurers. Are they telling you? Are they reducing your premium because of it? Because I don't think any of this is happening yet. But I'd like to see some of these policies, and I really would like to see what's written in. So if anyone gets hold of these policies, you know what I'm like. I like to bring out, I like to read the letters. I like to bring stuff onto the show. So if you've got any small print, any policies with anything to do with green parts, I would really like, you know, send me over this information. I don't data protection. I don't want the customer stuff. Just get me the writing so I can have a read about what that is. The C car model is broken. The C car, sorry, Stephen, I'm not sure I got you with that. Is that the courtesy car model or class? Because classes have all changed, haven't they? It's an S and an N. Read the small print on a policy. It's all there. Exactly. So what is, you know, let's face it, when you take your policy out, how many people actually really go into that small print? I don't think too many do. But I do know that unanimously, a lot of people said no, they wouldn't want used parts put on their car. Maybe if it's a great car, you want to keep it, they might be happy to. So that's what we're doing at the moment, because this is where, thanks, Luke. I'd love that. Anything you've got on it from any different insurers as well. But this is where we need to find out, because it's like now, if I have a problem and we've got a car where, like now, we've all stated that if we've got a problem and we can't finish a car because of one part, it's down to us to say to the customer, we have the problem, we can't get your parts or one part, so we can finish your car repair if you're happy to have this one item that's used or that's green put on your car, and give them the ultimate say in that. But at the same token, then realistically, who should benefit? Should the customer be given some money back because of that? I don't know. But the bigger issue is something that I thought about after all of this kind of issue. I then, because many moons ago, when I started 30 odd years ago, we repaired a lot of damaged vehicles that were categorized, category total losses, because in this industry, many of us repairers, you get the option to buy a car, you know it hasn't been damaged very badly, so it's an easy repair, and you might be able to make a few quid to cover the losses that we make everywhere else in this industry. What it made me realize was, hold on a minute, this is the insurer trying to have their cake and eat it again. The reason I believe that categories exist on total losses, not the structure ones, because we know the structure means the car's been badly damaged, but the basis of this is an insurance company sat there many years ago and realized, when the write-offs was quite quite fresh, quite new, a lot of cars were being written off, the insurers were paying out for these cars. They were writing them off. A customer was either buying the car back, repairing the car with green parts or used parts, and then putting it back on the road. So the insurers at some stage went, hold on, I don't like this, because when that car comes to me now, I'm reinsuring it again. And then if it gets stolen or it gets written off again, I'm paying out the full value of that. And the insurers didn't like that. So they then categorized vehicles and brought it into having categories that now, if your car was a cat, I think it's N now, S is structural, N means the car is only written off because the value of the parts, basically, the value of the repair exceeds the value of the vehicle. So it's obvious in that case, no one's going to repair that vehicle with new parts because it exceeds the value. So what happens is people go and get good used parts. It's what I've done a lot of it myself. Of course I have. I'm sure most of the repairers out there, we're mad not to. It's what we do for a living. We know we can repair cars properly. So we use green parts, we use used parts, and we put them onto the vehicles and we repair them. And 9 times out of 10, unless it's the category S's, they're as good as before, because like we say, it's the value of the parts that wrote the car off, not the damage. So let's do this. This is where it got me, because I thought, right, so the insurer has now said, if your vehicle is a category N, I do this for a living, I recover claims, they state they don't want to pay out the full value of that car. Why? It's why is because the value that the category N now means that car's been repaired with used parts. So the insurer says it's now been devalued. This is the insurer that's making that and says the car is now being devalued because it's been repaired with green parts, used car parts. So this was the big issue that I had. So I hope everyone understands it. I hope I'm not on my own, because I was like, wow, actually, this is really causing another problem. Because if I've got a car now that I've repaired that was a category N, and it was only written off because it was minor enough damage, but the value of the parts exceeded it. So now I use green parts. They can't have it both ways. Surely they can't have it both ways. They're now saying that that car's got to be devalued because it's been repaired with used car parts and green car parts. But now, to repair a car for the insurer with green parts, they're now going to allow that. Why? Because it saves the insurer money. Now, I hope you get me with it, because I just think it's wrong. You can't repair a car with green parts and say it's okay, and pretend to your customer that the value of your vehicle is going to be fine now because we've used green parts. But when a category N car is repaired with used parts, we're going to devalue it. I don't think you can do that. So that's the issue for me at the moment, is the insurer is saying on one hand, it's wrong and it's going to devalue the car. Your car is now worth less and we're only going to pay you less because you've repaired it with second-hand parts. Thanks, Alan. It's something because I've repaired a lot of, damaged vehicles in the past. And this just really made me think this is wrong. It really is wrong, because they can't have it both ways. So where do we go with this? It's interesting. It's very interesting because it seems to be quite a hot topic. But to me, that was the bigger issue, is the fact that insurer, again, they do it quite a lot, are trying to have their cake and eat it. They're saying a write-off, no go, devalues your vehicle because of the use of second-hand green parts. But they want to repair my car via their insurance repair using green parts. And because they're paying for the repair, now it's okay. Well, you're telling me on the other hand that it's going to devalue my car. So I think that's the big issue here. And I think it would be great, not great, it'd be interesting to see quite a big repair that's been used, repaired with a lot of green parts, to say, hey, it's been written off now, you've got to pay me out. Are you now going to try and devalue it because now you've got to pay me the full value? Interesting. I think it's an interesting point. I don't know where the answers are with it. I really do want to see, though, these policies. If anyone's got, I'd love to. I really think a lot of this comes down to what the insurers are putting in the policies to the customer. And I really do think that if anyone is putting green parts on any vehicle, they should be telling the customer. I know I would be. The only reason that at the moment that I'd be doing that is I'd say to a customer, your car's going to be a write-off. We can save it with a few green parts. Let the customer have the ultimate say in that. I think that's very important. But again, there is a benefit there. What do we do if we put green parts on? Does the insurer save the money? Do we give the customer some money back? Or do we make some more money for a change? These are all points to look at. Interesting points. So I'm going to leave it there with that, but I think it's a fantastic topic, and I hope you're with me on the fact of the total loss and the value of the vehicle, because is it going to devalue it? I don't know. It's interesting. I'd love to hear your comments on that one, of course. Let's have a look at this one, Stephen. To be honest, policies are cheap. Take a headlamp on a 20-plate Corsa. 2K has more safety items on the North. Yeah, true. And in general, parts are too expensive. Couldn't agree with you more there, Stuart. Parts really are expensive. Yeah, very, very much so. And that's obviously affecting. That's probably why I think it's because the parts are going up that insurers are now saying, we've said for years you can't use them, it's going to devalue. But now they're sort of saying, well, look, this is green and this is really friendly now that we can, we'd be eco-friendly. No, it's not. It's got nothing to do with being eco-friendly. It's got to do with the fact that you're going to save more money again. Anyway, letting the customer decide is key. Absolutely. Yeah, I think you have to tell the customer. And I think if it's going to help a repair center, let's be honest, the insurer's doing it to help themselves, and I'm going to do it to help myself, and you'll be doing it to help yourself. That's the way we live. It's the way life is. If I can save a car and get an extra repair, but the first thing I do anyway when a car's going to be total lost, I don't know about you guys, I always go to the customer and say, do you want this car or not? Because over the years, I've been here for 33 years. We've had customers that have had a total loss repaired and had it back, and they didn't want it. So all we had was, screamers and problems and an unhappy customer. But we've also had a customer that sort of had a car handed down in the family, and it was granddad's or something, and they want to keep it, and we've written it off. So it's kind of, I always, the first point of call is, do you want to keep your car? And if they do, then however you repair that car is going to be okay, because they're with you. They're on your side. So I always ask that question. Do you want to keep the car? If they say no, and it's kind of like that on the edge, then there's no point in me repairing it. I'm like, okay, well, there's no point in me trying to help you out by putting a few parts on it, because you don't want the car anyway. But if you do want the car, then they're going to be happy that you repaired it and given them back. And that's when I would use green parts, when I'm helping the customer. And there's something I'm going to go over a few of the polls in a minute, and it comes back to a lot of us, I think, look after the customers better than insurers do. Another way to look at it is a Cat N total loss worth the same as a vehicle, not total loss. Well, that's exactly the point there, Deepak. Yep, agree entirely. They can't have it both ways. They're going to either have to switch one or the other, I think. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens down the line. Colin, how are we doing? Would you sooner have it repaired with a second-hand parts, safe, or non-OE parts, possibly unsafe? Again, this is a great debate. It's a great chat, Colin. Thanks for that lovely point again, because I believe personally we are in the industry. If I was sort of telling a friend of mine, look, would you rather have a genuine green part? I'm going to call them green now because we've had the debate. So if we're going to use a green part, I would rather, and this is again my car, I always look at problems as if it was me. So if that's my car, would I rather have a non-genuine OE part or a genuine green part? Yes, I pretty much think 99% of us guys out there that are in the repair industry are going to say the same thing. Yes, I'd rather have a green part that is a genuine part that's been used. It's going to be a lot better than or I think it's going to be a lot better than an OE part. So yes, that's definite. And a great point there, Colin. Stephen says, paint is another issue. Inflated to extreme to substitute a poor labour rate. That, yeah, total different issue to parts, but something I definitely want to drop onto, Stephen, because, yeah, in my own opinion, the whole estimating process it's all over the place. Let's face it. And this is another great debate that's going to come up down the line, because Why should we have one thing inflated to cover something else that's not inflated? And this is, again, brings me back to the repairer matrix. I keep pushing on to this to ask all of you repairers, please contact me for the repairer matrix. It's a form. All you have to do is fill it out. And then I'm going to compile everybody's prices together, because I want to look at an estimate, how we want to look at it, what we feel we should charge for things. That's what we need to do, not be listening to anybody else, what they think, and anyone else outside the industry telling us what they think, how we should estimate and what it should be. I actually want a matrix to say what it should cost us, because this is, is it inflated though, Stephen? That's the other thing I said is the paint inflated? Has anyone actually studied that and said, actually, yeah, we make a profit that we should make on it? Is it the fact that everything else just doesn't make enough money? Another a great point there, Stephen, is something really, we are going to have some great debates on that again further down the line. Seeing very high specialist charges, sometimes more than actual repair costs. I think there's a lot of people out there at the moment that are trying to, let's face it, estimating is all about zone 99. I think, well, that's wrong. Estimating seems to be all about zone 99. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm in the industry, but why is it that we're all, and that's what I'm saying to now with this new estimating system coming on. Can't wait to have GT Motive on the 5th of April. We do need another estimating system. If I'm honest, I think we need another one as well, because it needs looking at. It needs looking at going forward, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Thanks for that, Deepak. And LinkedIn, if there are any complaints in using green parts, perhaps only VRA grade A parts are used, ensuring the best used parts are available. Fantastic. Again, what I'm saying to you, I'm not against green parts, because it has to be, the reason has to be the customer. If you've got a customer that doesn't want you to use green parts, I don't think you should, and I don't think you should be able to. But a lot of us don't mind, especially in the repair industry, and especially with the parts problems at the moment. But yes, definitely grade A to me are better than OEM. Let's face it, who hasn't fitted a wing or a door or a panel that's OEM that doesn't line up? I don't use them anymore. Tried them years ago, but had too many problems with them. And yeah, again, if I'm honest, I'd rather a green part. I can call them green part because the debate's nearly done. Kickbacks, I've been involved in both sides. Fantastic, Stephen. Me and you must have a chat outside of here. Obviously, if you join Crash Clinic, the website, it's only for members. I want people to understand that if you go onto the Crash Clinic website, you will see you can't see nothing, because it's all behind closed doors for us to have some good chats on. So yes, Stephen, we definitely need to have a chat after the show, or tomorrow, or a little bit later down the line. We've both got time. Should insurance companies earn a kickback from non-OE parts suppliers to make you use them in their contracts? That's an interesting one, Colin. Should insurance companies earn a kickback from non-OE parts? Good question. A good part of the debate. What do I think? Should I think insurance companies earn enough money. I think they should be trying to help repairers now, not themselves. But that's, again, like we say, another debate for another time. Deepak's back with all the Cat B, you would think there would be loads of green parts. Green parts are good for the environment too. Deepak, I'm totally not against green parts. Please don't. I don't know. I don't want to come across as that. What I'm saying is, it's all about the insurer for me again. The insurer, I know they've done this to make more money, because they know. And if you look ahead, look what's happened over the last sort of 5 to 10 years. The parts prices are going up and up and up and up and up. So, when they were writing cars off, like I was saying, letting you, if you repaired a car with second-hand parts, they wouldn't pay it. They were telling us that's devalued your car. I'm not paying you out the full value. Now, all of a sudden, it's okay. It suits them. And that's because parts prices are going up so much, they know in the next 5 to 10 years, they're going to be paying out more and more and more on parts prices. So now this new little green initiative suits them. That's why they've put so much time into it. And by the way, whoever came up, I really want to know who came up with green parts. You are a genius. It must be someone in the insurance company. I think it's an absolute, let's be honest, used car parts doesn't sound very nice. Green parts, it sounds fantastic. Whoever came up with that, I really want to find out the name because it's very clever and you're a genius. Well done. Tim Kelly, how we doing, Tim? Hope you're well, my friend. If insurers wanted to be green, they would be repairing vehicles up to the market value. Ah, wow. Tim Kelly, what a fantastic thing to say. We were only talking about that today. Wow, what a great point, Tim. Because like you've said, a total loss suited the insurers again. When it got to 80% of the value or whatever they want to cap it, they could sell the vehicle and get a lump sum of money back. And it made it, it made it more beneficial for the insurer. So again, the way we think of things, it's all beneficial for the client, for the customer. So, and for the repair center, yes, why are we scrapping cars, creating all this mess? Tim, what a fantastic point. I'm going to bring that up down the line again because I think that is a really, really good point. If we're being truly green, it's like I've always said, I always say to everybody who works for me and all my customers, everything is repairable. Anything is repairable. It's at what cost? Simple as that. That's a great point there, Tim. Thanks for that, buddy. Deepak is back. Insurers ask repairers for discounts on new parts. So if repairers use green parts, the repairers could add, say, 5% on top. Deepak, great idea. But if I'm totally honest, the parts itself, I've got a little video coming out tomorrow because that's something else that I've started. I did that at the weekend. Parts is another huge point to me. I do not get it. We run parts departments. We employ staff. We pay ourselves, if you like, in the size of your business for storage space to store parts. We pay in advance for the parts. We run a little business there. And if you look at the reality on parts, this just blows my mind to pieces. An insurer contract takes 20%, if you're lucky, off the bottom line. We know some part, it all depends on who it is. You might get 5%, you might get 10%. You're lucky if you get 20%. But either way, if you're only getting 10% from a certain car dealer, the minute you buy parts for that car, you're losing 10%. Does any other business on this planet do anything as stupid as that? Anyway, and that's why, these are the kind of things where when somebody just said earlier about the hyped up paint guide, is it covering for that? Why do we have to mask this and just do things properly? All this messing around needs to be moved, but parts discount is another one for me. But again, if we're using green parts, we should be allowed to make, they should incentivize us to use them, to talk our customers into having them and giving us a bit more money back or something. I don't know. Insurers ask, I was just showed that one. Sorry. Yeah, that's another good one there though. Deepak, Colin. Major insurance companies partnering eBay for parts supply. Wow. Well, Colin, don't start me on that one because I've got a company launching at the end of this month called eBagum. It's the UK only buy and sell website where you can buy and sell things for free. I've launched this and the new app and the new website all comes out at the end of this month. And it's awesome. It's UK only. In the middle of this, I tried to push something called repairer to repairer, allowing all repairers to put all their parts on that for free. You'll never pay a penny. And then if we all did it, I would look there first for a part. And that would be better. That's like, you guys, I've got a headlamp in there that's brand spanking new I never used on a job, or a couple of things where a customer didn't have the job done. I'd rather buy them off each other and help each other yet again. But another, helping eBay. This is how serious it's going to become. They know the future is about green parts. But we need to look at this contract. Who's benefiting? Most are adding 25% on. Well, there you go, Alan. That's a great reason to. That's a great reason to incentivize us to use green parts. They're still going to be saving a lot of money. And for once, they're actually helping the repair center. Well said, Alan. Good point, Tim. Yes, it was a fantastic point, that, Tim. I really like that. I'd be fine with that. Yes, and me, Deepak. Great point. Great point. Tim, what should also be remembered is that when you obtain a premium, the premium is based on the group rating, which is based on the use of new parts. This is what I was just saying. This is where, Tim, if you were on earlier, when I went, I did the poll on LinkedIn. In our industry, we were all pretty much happy to use them. but I knew that wasn't the true figure. So I went out on Facebook and put it out to the public. The public were 99.9%. No way, don't put used parts on my car. So now it becomes all about talking to the customers. But like you say, then if it's not in their policy, what happens if some, there's guarantees. There's still a lot to be spoke about green parts, although I'm happy to do it. And Tim, I think your last comment was absolutely awesome. And why are they writing cars off? Shouldn't be. Not for the value of parts. That's when we should be jumping to green parts and saving them. Very well said, Tim. When the insurer wants to use second-hand bits, I will not use the word green parts as they are not. Like I said, whoever came up with that, Tim, you have to be honest, it was a little bit genius. Very, very cleverly done. But yes, they do want their cake and eat it, of course. Ian Summers, when fitting second-hand painted parts that take more time and products, yes, I'm just going to say there is another issue there, Ian, without a doubt, because again, I've repaired a lot of damaged vehicles over the years, and you know what? You can get a part as well that looks beautiful. When you get it back, you go, oh no, it's been repaired before. Underneath it, we've got problems. There's a dent, and now you can have lots of different problems with that. And let's face it, what paint's put on it? Not just using green parts. Were those green parts used before? This is the problem that we're going to have. So I definitely think using them should increase more times, of course. But it's a very interesting subject. The whole thing is and you started this, Ian. You brought me to look at it in depth last week, and yeah, a fantastic topic, to be fair, because it's going to be around for a long time. Discussing the descriptive term of green, insurers are green washing, i.e. misleading consumers to believe something is green when it's not. Well, that's what I just said. Whoever came up with the phrase was very, very clever, but I think it's all about the consumer. I know if I'm using them, I'm telling this, I'm actually asking for me, it's all about making the customer give me the answer. I know that, and I think we should all be thinking the same there. Deepak, where you originally paid 25% markup on the green part price, and the green part supplier charged £50 more than the dealer part. What? Now that is obscene. I need to understand a bit more about that, Alan, but that is crazy. Is that because you couldn't get the parts? And that's the thing with some of these, car breakers. If they realize you can't get a part, whoop, the price goes up rapidly. Interesting though, because if it's going to fix a car and that car's out costing higher, again, it could be that 50 quid has saved someone fortunes. Another interesting point. This industry is great. We love it. Insurers are making the cream. Having worked in various parts departments over the years, the discount from the manufacturers to the dealers have dwindled. Yes, they have. Yet the discount passed on to the repairers has only gotten bigger. Yes, passed on by you're right there. You couldn't actually, I wish I could say your name because you're just coming up as LinkedIn user, but wow, you're dead right. I've been in 33 years. The parts discounts were fantastic years ago, and we didn't pass much on. Now, we're getting 5% and 10%, and we're having to give 20% bottom line. So we really don't want to be, putting new parts on cars for insurance contracts, which again is wrong, because is that engaging us to look at doing the wrong repair? I don't know. Again, another great issue. Some great issues coming up tonight, guys. Ian Summers, we've been paid whatever you would charge on a repair. Ian Summers, we've been paid whatever you would charge. Oh, wow. So that could be a good thing then, Alan. Could be a good thing. Insurers only look after their sharks. Well, I think we know that. That's definite. Like we said, there was I did put some on a few weeks ago where there was a little survey done, and it came out that insurers actually admitted knowing they look after their profits more than their customers. I found that quite interesting. So I did the same poll to repairers, and the poll came back, repairers prefer to look after their customer first before, of course, we've got to make a profit, but repairers want to look after their, and I do see that, definitely do see that. Thanks for that, Deepak. Matthew Weeks, so true, mate. Yeah, it was Matthew Weeks. Fantastic. That must be the LinkedIn user. Very true, Tim. The consumer needs. I've just said that. If I'm going to use parts, we must as an industry. Let's face it. Our industry's totally changed. It's all about telling the customer. Definitely about telling the customer. Calling second-hand parts green is green washing, and it will be stopped. Yeah. Well done there, Ian. It's again, whoever came up with it, I've got to give them. I just think it's that some of these people are so clever when it comes to saving a few quid. But again, my issue, guys, is the fact that total losses. Do you get me with that? How can they say a total loss can now be devalued from using green parts? But they're now saying it's okay to repair your car with it. I would actually like to challenge this in court. If you know me, you know I love court battles. I love going to court. I love challenging the issues just to see where we go with it. All based on common sense. I really would love to see that argument. And I might run it on one of my total loss claims when they say they're going to pay me less, because I want to bring this up and see where it goes. Very interesting factor. Colin Keeler. So insurance companies earn more on salvage than they earn money on kickbacks from parts and no suppliers. Paint companies, second-hand parts suppliers. What's next? Yeah, I think everybody, insurers are just, they really are looking at saving, like they said, they're looking at saving money so much from the repair industry. I think it's actually, if I'm totally honest with you, they're looking at it totally wrong. It's the hire industry and our industry in general that costs insurers more money. Because of that, Colin, I am going to, if you know me, you know I've had an accident management company for 30 odd years. I wrote the GTA, the way the non-fault accident management runs now, which is had its day, by the way, but I wrote that in 2001, just after Diamond versus Lavelle. The industry is, it's in a bad way. They're looking at it, always looking to hurt the repairer. If they got solicitors and they got claims companies out of this, the money they would save would be absolutely astronomical. And they could pay in repair centers a very good pay packet, and they would still be saving millions. Well, will that ever happen? I'll do my best. In my life, I will be trying as much as I can. Tim Kelly, would you like me to cover the topic of diminution in loss or using second-hand bits as a repairer? If you have devalued the vehicle using second-hand bits, you could be called party to the legal claim. Wow, Tim, awesome, because this is exactly what I'm getting at. And let's, would you want to position yourself in that situation? Awesome, Tim. I'd even do one of our shows on that, because I think it's a big issue. I really want to challenge it because, like I've just said, it's all right going green and getting all those parts out, but ultimately it's about the bigger picture. How can you tell me you're not going to pay me the full value when I've repaired a car properly and I use green bits? It might be a cat end, it doesn't matter. That was just the value of the parts that was going to cause that problem. Now we've repaired it, we've been green friendly, so that car should be worth the same value then. Interesting topic, because that's going to cost them millions again on the people they're paying out in total losses. But you can't have it both ways. That's what I keep harking on about. You can't have it both ways, but insurers always want it both ways. They always do. I can believe the prices on used or green parts are often just as if not more expensive. I source and supply front ends for vehicles in my current role with used or green parts, and often end up buying new parts purely as they're cheaper. Wow. LinkedIn user, sorry I haven't come up with a name there, but that's interesting. Very, very interesting. So, green parts shouldn't be going more than new parts. That's outrageous. That's somebody trying to make some money somewhere. Let's face it, they've linked up with eBay. They've linked up with all these big car breakers. There's somebody making a lot of money in this industry again, and it's not the repairers. It's always the way. Always the way. Not saving, mate. They just want to earn money. Yeah, always. We know that. You don't find many body shop owners driving crap cars. Is the industry really in a bad state? Don't shoot me. I'm going to shoot you. Tracy, what are you saying? Well, Tracy, this is that's a very interesting thing to say, to be fair. Is the car leased? Do they own it? Let's face it, how somebody lives their life and spends their wages is up to them. A lot of people like to have a nice vehicle. A lot of body shops, when I did a poll not long ago, and this is why I keep throwing these polls out there, so please keep answering them because it's really interesting. It turned out that most repairers were from 20 years to 30 years plus. Very few were in the 5 to 10 year bracket. So what that means, Tracy, is most of the repair centers have been around a long time, which I was really shocked at, to be honest. But I think repair centers become very clever with their money. They have to be. When you're losing money, you have to become clever with it. And I've always said this, again, don't shoot me. I've always said repair center owners just get a good wage. And it takes years then to, I bought my first body shop. I bought this property. And it took us 15 years to slowly pay this off. And we had nothing. But it's only years later when you seem to have a bit of money left. And that's what this industry seems to do. So when you say, you know, body shop owners, you don't see many driving crap cars. Again, are they leasing them? Most of them, I happen to know now, are 20, 30 years on. So that's probably why. Again, these facts of doing these polls really give us some interesting facts. Thanks anyway, Tracy. Never be frightened to speak up. That's what Crash Clinic is all about. Does being BS 1025 not move liability from insurance company to repairer if repairer fails? Well, this is the other thing you've got to look at. We mentioned this today, funny enough. The issue, we've got BSI, and somebody said, I wonder how it affects. So if we're using a second-hand part, do BSI have to say it's okay? I'm pretty sure they will because the insurer says it, but is it in any of BSI's paperwork? Because you know what everyone is like? Everyone will chuck the liability to us. That's the problem. So is it that it's a very good question again. The insurer and BSI, who are you going to leave the liability with? Great point there, Colin. I saw Copart on eBay selling parts as Eco Part with the emphasis on the E. Yes, I think I saw something very similar. But I think Ian Summers popped up there that it's greenwashing is wrong. Again, trying to make out these two. They're arcing on about the eco stuff because it's the way forward. It makes it look good for them, and ultimately there's going to be a lot of money made for them down the line. And let's face it, what are Copart doing in this? There's got to be something happening. I'm not going to say kickback because that'd be the wrong word, but you know, they're very heavily into this, and with eBay, so people will be paying things to insurers all over the place. You know that. I know that's the way it works. Ian Summers, forgive me for being lazy, but I've WhatsApped you something because I couldn't be bothered to write it. Don't worry, Ian, it's late. I don't blame you. I'll have a look at that in a bit. Talking about nice cars, do you make your insurers aware of a vehicle being owned by a director and not by the business? If not, insurers can decline to pay a claim. Wow. Luke, here we go on another topic that I will bring up later down the line, because there's nothing worse than an insurer not paying out on a claim. And I think it's wrong, because I do know that independent brokers are supposed to ask all the right questions and get all the information. And this is back to that argument, online insurers. Are they asking the same questions? And I think they should be made to, I'm afraid, because we're living in a year 2020. They should not be allowed to decline a claim, in my opinion. We're paying a premium. You know, it's a frightening point. It's like, now, you didn't tell us about those 3 points. We're not going to pay out your insurance. Does it affect it that bad? You know, somebody could just forget. Let's face it, these points come on and come off. I think there should be a bit more. I hate it when people don't pay out claims. It's really horrible. So you do have to be very, very careful, of course. So do we rely on our brokers, Luke? Is it you? You should be helping us out. That's a great point, though, Luke, and thanks for that. Everybody take note. Do you want to read it out? Ah, you want me to read it out? Right. Okay, Ian. Let's have a look. I've got my phone here. Right. Ian has WhatsApped this because he's not. I love it. No problem, matey. I'll read that out for you. Let's pick a door that gets set. Let's pick a door that gets set out. Does it come wrapped in 100% recycled products? We have been looking at reducing deliveries on site, unfortunately, with parts coming from multiple sites. That's adding, not reducing carbon footprint. Yeah, very well said. We are having to remove twice the parts from the doors as we are stripping two down, true, which is adding to the man time. Yeah, these are great points here, Ian. It is doubling the time up, of course, because you're stripping 2 parts down, stripping a door off the car. Now we are having around 30 plus extra parts to dispose of. Carbon footprint, this is costing us money again. I put something on about a guy removing plastics at the moment. It all costs us money. And in too many body shops, that will go straight to landfill, including plastic, rubber and glass. Now we are having to use extra chemical and cleaning products that we would not normally just need to get it ready. We wouldn't normally need just to get it ready to work on. Now we have to prep the door with the products that we didn't before, and it's going to have to run through another complete painting cycle, which is not only time consuming and adding equipment and man hours with painting parts. I just can't see that it benefits anyone apart from the people paying the invoice. It's just so time consuming for a body shop with extra products. Ian, you know what? Put it like that. You have to be honest, guys and girls, you guys are in the repair industry. Ian, great point. Great point. Yes, it's going to take us a lot of time. There's more parts to handle, more space we need. I'm trying to arc on at the moment that I believe insurers should see us as having parts departments, having to have one to look after all these car parts. And they need to get rid of this discount thing on parts because it costs us too much money. But again, Ian, very much, we know that you only got to get one part as well, wrong colors. You know, you have to, certain ways of prepping them to make sure colors don't bleed through. And, you know, a part could have had a little repair on it before and it ends up costing you a lot of money. So is it all, basically, Ian, I think that's what you're saying, is it all it's cracked up to be? Is it worth it? We need to look at that because we're the repairers. But again, if it does help us to finish a job at the minute to get one out the door, I think that's really important for us as long as we tell the customer. Right, let's have a little look. You have to prove where it came from. And how do you, how do they? That's true. Another good point. Yes, says Luke. Sorry on that, on that point of insurance. Having a car parts exchange database is a great idea. Tracy, that's something that's actually there. If you join ebuygum.co.uk, that's ebuygum.co.uk. That's a company that's already there, but there's a new launch at the end of this month. And it's called, I called it R2R, repairer to repairer. You can open up your own little shop. You can put all your parts on it and you can sell away and it won't cost you a penny. It doesn't cost you a penny to list them and it doesn't cost you a penny to sell them. They can sit there as long as you like. I've got the side of a van down here at £1,000. If somebody gave me 500 quid for that, I'd be over the moon. But that would mean another repairer would save 500 quid. It's a brand new, genuine part. And I'm pretty sure around the country, we've got thousands of these parts sat around. And it's a great thing to do because it's free, absolutely free. So you might want to look into that. Yes, Tracy, I think it's a great idea myself. That's why I did it. Colin Kidd, they ask for the V5. Let me just get back with which question we're on there. I'm run a little way. They ask for the, checking on where, checking on where the parts come from. They ask for the V5. Well, guys and girls, what a great debate. I think it's very, very interesting. I don't think we've seen the last of it, of course. That's definitely not the end because I think it's only just the start. Ian Summers, you caused the problem. And now we're looking into it heavily. But again, it's just like I've said, Crash Clinic is all about looking at our industry. These are changes that are happening around us. We're the ones that have got to swallow this. We're the ones involved in this. And that's why Crash Clinic's here, for us to debate and try and get control of things and to try heavily to shape the industry the way it's going. So again, fantastic evening with everybody coming on. Thanks ever so much for all your input. I'm just going to finish off by running through a few of the polls, which I find interesting. There's some very interesting facts come out of some of these polls, and they're going to help us to bring content. If anyone else is diving out now, just remember we've got the 5th of April. We've got Martin Rowley coming on with GT Motive and GDK Technology demonstrating Snap It and Offer It, some new products for the industry. They may help us. I don't know until we see it. Thanks for that, Colin. Great show. Thanks for that. Thanks for you guys for, this. We need the input together, guys. We need to help each other, of course. So I'm just going to run you through and finish off with a couple of polls. And please keep, adding to these because it really does help. This one's a low one because it only had six votes. But what are your biggest problems facing 2022? Too much work was 50% of that one, which is quite interesting. Too much work. This I found quite interesting. Angela Henry, thoroughly enjoyed the conversation and comments. Fantastic. Again, thanks everybody for joining in. This was quite interesting. If you get a doubled excess on a job, what do you do? So we got 16 votes on this. 56%, that's quite a high percentage, absorb it in the job. A small percentage turn it away, and quite a large percentage actually let the customer off with it. So again, that's another thing insurers are winning with, because they know that's going to happen. That's costing us money again. It's just naughty. Right, who is your best work provider? Interesting. I've got to be honest, I didn't think Vision would come up top, because I've heard a lot of complaints, but they have. WNS, wow. Is it worth them even being there? 4%. Nobody seems to like WNS. Enterprise, very high up, of course. I actually did think Enterprise would probably take the lead there, and IVS only 4%. If there are any more work providers, again, I'd probably like to do a bigger poll on that. Let me know who they are, and we can find out with that. So Vision came out tops with that. Do you think BSI is a good thing? 74% said yes, and 26% said no. So there's a few people out there that don't think it's a good thing. I do think it's a good thing, but you'll see in a bit, there's a lot of us seem to see I think it's needed, because that's what, how can I say this? I think it's needed because it's separating us into making us into very good repair centers. But at the same token, that brings me to say that we should be charging for it, because that's making us, do all these extra things that cost money. So I do think it's a good thing, but I think we should be being able to charge for it because of the cost involved in doing that. Do you think BSI is value for money? Now, straight away, a high percentage think it's a good thing, but a high percentage also think it's not value for money. So a little area there where it seems quite unanimous. So we can probably discuss and talk about that again later on in some of the shows, because this is what these polls do. So please join in them all the time, because it does give us some fascinating facts. How many courtesy cars do you have? Again, there was quite a lot of people entered this. Now, I actually thought most people only had a few. 30% of the repairers have got 30 plus cars. 32% 0 to 10, 10 to 20. Now, this is because courtesy cars are a big thing for me. I really believe we shouldn't be giving parts discounts, and I really believe we shouldn't be giving courtesy cars, or if we are, we should be being paid for them. That's my opinion. But again, these are things we're going to discuss over the coming months in Crash Clinic, because I can't wait to get us together in a room. So for everybody that wants to get together where we can have some real, in-depth discussions, I can't wait for that. So please drop me a line if that's something of interest to you as well. We'll find a little place where we can get in a room and have a bit of food, have a great debating day, which I'd love to do. This again, is this a myth, or do we still argue with engineers? I was arguing with engineers 30 years ago. And guess what? We're still arguing with engineers today, 30 years on. Who wants to come to work to have an argument? I think our industry is hard enough as it is. So we don't want this. Insurers, if there's any out there that are watching this, we don't want arguments with you. We just want to get on and do that. It's a hard enough job doing a quality job that we do time and time again for your customers. We don't want these rows. We need to sort this out. 86%, and there's quite, there's 42 votes on that. 86% of us are having rows with engineers, and I don't get it. I just don't think that's right, I'm afraid. But there you go. I want to find new ways of making money, and I would invest to make more money. If someone offered you a new ways of making money, would you invest? 100% of us in the repair industry said yes, they would love to find a new way of making money and would invest. Wow. So that just shows there, guys and girls, that, there's a lot of people there that are looking outside or would look outside to try and make some more money. Well, luckily, again, later down the line, I've got some great ideas coming out for you guys. That's why I asked the question. I'm going to help you guys to make money. That's a promise. So, but it's an interesting fact, a very interesting fact. 100% said they would. Do you give work out to an accident management company? 59%. So that's a 60-40% in the industry give work back to an accident management company. All those people who do that, if you do that, I'm interested in having a good chat with you. Again, this is all about making more money and helping this industry. Got some great things we're working on in the background. How many hours would you realistically say you work on a car in a day? This has been an interesting fact for me for years. We've always had that debate. You know, an insurer seems to think that one car comes in and one person works on that for 8 hours a day. Well, we all know if you're operating as like a track, you can't do that because it's all about processes. That car has to go into that process, and all of a sudden the part comes in, stops it. You can't work on it. So we have to work on as many cars as we can to try and make us profitable. Interesting one, quite a few votes there. 17% 3 hours, 21% 4 hours, 17% 5 hours, and 6% said 46% said 6 hours. I like to think on average 4 on an average, and then I actually believe sometimes it can be a bit less and sometimes it can be a bit more. I don't think we're all too far out, but just interesting facts. Interesting facts. Something else I thought was quite interesting. How much advertising do your repair center do? 24% said yes, they do advertising. 29% said no. 40, nearly 50% of repairers, according to this, do a little bit of advertising. Now, there's only one reason that can be: you're not busy. Because you're too busy. Because if you're not busy, or like now, the clocks go back this weekend, I think the work will probably start to slow up. So maybe a time for people to start looking at advertising. Please don't forget that when you join Crash Clinic, the website this is, not following it on LinkedIn, you also get free SEO. We're just setting all that up at the moment for the members. We're going to be getting you work from that website. So free SEO included in that. Because you haven't got time to do it. And collectively, if you're into SEO, the more you spend on SEO, the better results you get. So I think collectively, again, we'll do a better job. Do you want to see the industries change or happy the way it is? I was quite shocked that 6% said no, they're happy the way it is. Really? Wow. Interesting. I'd like to speak to those people to find out why they think it's good as it is. I think it's got to change. Going to dip out, enjoy. Thanks, Luke. We'll say yes, definitely speak tomorrow, pal. You take care, my mate. So yeah, I was quite shocked about the amount of people there that nearly all of us say it's got to change. We know it's got to change. Do you think your business insurance is too high? 71% of us said yes. 29% said they think it's cheap. So basically 71% of us, Luke, you nearly missed that one, think we're paying too much for our insurance. So again, something else. How do we know if we're paying too much for our insurance? How do we know? Like 29% have said they think it's cheap. Unless we come together and collate information, guys and girls, we're never going to know these answers. And I'm sort of sat here saying to everyone, we need to share information. We need to, I've got the matrix coming out. I've got information like this. I want people to come together. Let's tell each other what we're paying. And that way we can tell, we can have a look and go, oh, crikey, people in my area are only paying 10 grand. I'm paying 20. We need, without that information, we're never going to know. These are things I want to do, guys. Please remember that all the time. What would you like more of? Retail work, insurance work, or walk-in work? Quite interesting. A lot of people like a bit more retail work, and 20% walk-in work, 20% insurance work. For me, 100%, I want the retail and walk-in work because that's where we earn the more money. So again, that comes from marketing. Just told you, if you're a member of Crash Clinic, the more members that join and become paying members, the more work you'll get of that work, because that's what we're doing in the background via SEO. The most important thing in my business, which is what I loved, because insurers, I'm going to show you in a second. Actually, I'll show you the other way around. Insurers in a poll admitted 77% of motor insurance companies admit they put profit above their customers. Well, we know that because that's the way they operate in this industry. But have a look at us as repair centers. When I put this out, 67% of us, virtually the other way around, put customer satisfaction first, which I think is high for any business. So we are doing it right, I'm afraid, insurers, and you need to stand by us. If a customer comes in for repair and is a fully comp insured customer and has a non-fault accident, what do you do? This again was very interesting because 3% would put it through his own insurance. 74% would recommend they go through non-fault, and 24% leave it up to them. Personally, you should always put this through non-fault. If you've got a good contract, that is, because there are some good contracts out there for non-fault work where you can earn a lot more money. And I think that's what, what you should be doing is pushing that through to a non-fault company. If you need help to find a very good contract where you'll be earning a lot of money, please get in touch and I'll put you in the right direction. Do you have a problem with unused parts? Oh, don't show that. But there we go. That just showed it was a 70-30% because that was the one that was done in between ourselves. What management system do you use? It looks like 65% of people are using Autoflow, then 20% on Emacs and 15% on BMS. So it looks like Autoflow at the moment are a clear leader. It was great to have Emacs on the other week. I thought there was some fantastic courtesy car stuff on there. So I'd like to see a bit more of Emacs. Again, guys and girls, please tell me if there's anything you'd like to see. If you want to see more of this Emacs, more of BMS, let's try and get them on the show. At the end of the day, it's about we need to be looking at cost saving, efficiency, everything. And that's what I'm going to be trying to help you with. Do you prefer insurance work or retail work? Retail work being private or direct. 68% said they prefer private work. I don't think we can argue with that because obviously we're going to earn more money from private work. But again, I'm going to keep pushing it. I would like to put a lot of our collectively put into a pot where we really push the marketing for us guys, because that's how we can get better work. And if you get another 20% of private work in your body shop, what would that do for you? Would make you a lot more profitable. So again, guys, the benefits of joining Crash Clinic are huge. So don't forget that. Do you attract your own work or is it all from your work providers? Is a 50-50%. We have put a customer at heart of what we do, and we're often the only face-to-face contact they have for the whole process, so they need to trust us. Angela, very well said. Very well said. We're very much the same. We're very customer-facing, and they've got to trust us. But in fairness, that poll was very good because I think our industry in general, independent repairers really do try and put their customers first, which the reason I did that is because insurers don't. So insurers, really should be learning from us, I think, on that note. Do you attract your own work or is all work from providers? 50-50. So 50% of us are attracting our own work and 50% of us are relying on work providers. So again, I think trying to get a percentage of work that's through the door, off the street, retail is really big for us guys, because that 20% can be the difference of us going bust or being profitable. And I think that's something I really want to try and help with, because marketing collectively, I know I've got a great team that can help us all. So if you join Crash Clinic, I can really help with that. It's down to you guys again. I'm sure you hopefully over the weeks you're going to get more confident with me. I am a doer and I really want to help people. Again, I think the polls are interesting. So please help me with the polls. Please enter them. They really do give us some feedback. Two things I'd like to do. I really would like to get the matrix out, because I like people to, I really think we should get a matrix of what our industry should be doing. And secondly, I'd like to have a get together. So if there's anybody that's interested in getting together, please comment in this video underneath it, wherever you are, to say, yes, I would. I'd like it to be 15 to 20 at least. And we could have the afternoon where we can have some serious chats offline, of course. I know we can do that on Crash Clinic, but I'll probably bring Crash Clinic to the event and show you how it works and show you why it's going to be so important to us all. That's it, guys and girls. I'm out. Just about. Really appreciate everybody's time. It's been a great night with some great, fantastic content, giving us loads more for the future, of course. When's the 5th? Is it next week? Clocks go back this week. Everyone have a great weekend and have a busy week. And of course, I look forward to hearing from you all. Let me know about getting together, because together we are stronger. Together, we can make things better. So please, guys and gals, miss the button.
Crash TV. Feel the pain.
Feel the pain. I always get the wrong way around, don't I? Anyway, guys and gals, thanks very much. We'll see you next week. Green parts was what it was all about. Very interesting. Some great comments from you all. But yeah, we're only touching on the iceberg. That's the start of it. So yes, it's going to be interesting. But again, the good point now is we've started the discussions, and hopefully now we're all thinking about it. So hopefully now we might be able to guide this and change it to suit us, which is what's really important. Thanks again for your time, guys. Hope you enjoyed this show, and enjoy the rest of your evening. And I'll see you next Tuesday at 7. Take care.